Welcome to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where every cup tells a story, and every story starts with a sip. Join us on a journey of adventure, camaraderie, and of course, the finest brews, served hot and steeped in mystery. From dragons to ancient legends, we're brewing up more than just coffee. Today's tale begins when the crew returns to the Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, eager to test their newfound treasures from the temple, especially the mysterious, magical doorknob gifted to them. Now, grab your mug, settle in, and get ready for the next chapter in our brewing saga. Episode 10, The Doorknob of Destiny. The group has just returned, exhausted but triumphant, after their adventure at the temple. The tavern is quiet except for the occasional creak of the wood as they drop their packs by the hearth.
By the gods, I think my muscles are permanently sore. Do ancient temples ever have comfortable lodging near them?
Yes, that's the real tragedy here. The lack of ergonomic support and convenient proximity to secret ruins.
Enough talk of ergo whatever. We have divine coffee to experiment with.
And a very fancy doorknob to install.
The spirits entrusted it to us. That means it has a purpose.
Only one way to find out what that purpose might be. Time to replace the old knob and see what our spectral friends left us.
I trust you with a sword and the big, heavy work, but are you sure about the delicate bits of craftsmanship?
Excuse me? I am a warrior of many talents.
The old knob pops off suddenly, and Braticus stumbles back, narrowly avoiding falling over. Java reaches out, grabbing the new magical doorknob from Nyved, and Braticus secures it into place. He then twists the knob and pulls. The pantry door swings open, but instead of their usual shelves, the infinite expanse of the temple's pantry stretches before them, aisles upon aisles of rare ingredients, glowing spices, and sacks of every grain imaginable.
No freaking way!
And so, a new era of pantry storage begins.
I think we just won the pantry lottery.
So, does it just stay like this? Or do we have to say a magic word to keep it from swallowing us whole?
Only one way too.
Braticus confidently steps through and immediately vanishes from sight. The opening shimmers as if they're looking through a bubble, and the pantry shelves are still visible, but Braticus is nowhere to be seen.
Did we just lose Braticus to the infinite void?
I'm sure he'll return, eventually.
Suddenly, Braticus comes flying back out of the pantry, landing hard on the tavern floor with an oomph. A rolling avalanche of ingredients spills out after him: flour, cocoa powder, dried chilies, and a particularly large bag of flour that bursts on impact, coating everything in white dust.
It's very well stocked.
The group stares at him. Then Nyved, entirely unbothered, picks up a bottle that tumbled out next to him.
Yes. Very well stocked indeed.
Liquid Inferno Essence. Warning, may combust on contact with air. I love this pantry.
This changes everything.
Java shakes off the flour, turning to fate with wide eyes. Braticus is sitting on the floor, covered in a fine layer of flour, blinking up at the others as ingredients from the infinite pantry settle around him. The door to the pantry still stands open, revealing endless shelves of rare and exotic ingredients. Patches, her tail flicking and arms crossed, can't keep the smile from her face as Braticus brushes flour dust from his beard.
You just had to be the first one through, didn't you?
I am a man of action. And sometimes that action involves being aggressively ejected from an infinite pantry.
But why did it spit you back out? That doesn't seem normal.
Nyved, still fascinated, steps closer and eyes the pantry door. He casually picks up a single clove of garlic that rolled out and tosses it back inside. It disappears into the depths. He watches with a thoughtful expression. Fate studies the pantry with her hand resting on her chin, but remaining quiet in her contemplations.
No dramatic rejection of the garlic.
It's possible it has rules. Perhaps it doesn't allow people to remain inside for long.
Great, now even pantries have rules. Also, does anyone else see a problem here?
You mean beyond you getting tossed out like a bad tavern drunk?
Well, that too. But I was thinking, if this thing spits out whatever it doesn't want, that means it could get real messy, real fast.
You're saying, what if it rejects entire bags of flour? Or barrels of coffee beans?
Or something explosive.
Let's not test that theory.
Okay. Second attempt. Maybe I just startled it the first time.
Braticus, determined to reclaim his dignity, stands up, still dusting himself off, and marches back up to the pantry. The others step back, watching with caution as he dramatically rolls his shoulders and steps forward. The moment he fully crosses the threshold, the pantry seems to hum, a faint, magical shimmer ripples through the air. A beat passes, but he doesn't disappear again. Braticus looks around at the abundant supplies, grinning.
Ha. See?
Without warning, an invisible force grabs him and whooshes him out again, launching him back into the tavern. It tosses him into the counter, knocking over a stack of wooden cups. A single lemon from the pantry rolls out and stops perfectly by his foot. Groaning, he stares at the lemon.
I'm beginning to take this personally.
Okay. Let's test something. Maybe it won't reject everyone. Maybe it likes dragons.
He creeps closer, then very cautiously extends a single paw past the threshold. Nothing happens and his ears perk up. Emboldened, he puts his full weight onto the threshold. The pantry hums again, but doesn't throw him out, at least, not yet.
Huh. So far so good.
Maybe it's just Braticus.
What did I do to offend the pantry gods?
It may not be offense. The spirits of the temple were specific in choosing what we took. Perhaps the magic deems you as belonging outside the pantry.
A pantry guardian, if you will.
I was hoping for hero of the tavern, not bouncer of the snack cabinet.
It's amazing. The scent alone. This is a coffee dragon's dream.
And a spice dragon's paradise. Oh, look! Eldritch chili powder, use at your own peril.
Patches steps forward, resting a hand on the doorway but not stepping through. Java reaches for a small satchel of golden coffee beans and pulls it off the shelf. The pantry does not react and he smiles.
It works! We can just...
A sudden gust of magical wind whooshes through the pantry, and the shelves shuffle. Java barely manages to hang onto the beans before stumbling back into the tavern. Fate, watching carefully, smiles knowingly and speaks up as Braticus eyes Nyved, who is holding an entire armful of rare spice jars.
It may allow you to take what you need, but not hoard what you want.
So, what do we think it considers hoarding?
I may have made an error in judgment.
Right on cue, the pantry rumbles ominously. The air vibrates. Nyved's eyes go wide. The pantry inhales, and Nyved's entire collection of spices, save for a single tiny bottle, gets yanked from his arms and sucked back onto the shelves. The door slams shut. Nyved pouts, holding up the one remaining bottle. Patches smirks and crosses her arms. Braticus grins as he continues to shake the flour from his hair.
Well, at least I got one.
Now, we have a brief break to hear a word from our sponsor.
The equinox is here. Time for renewal, fresh starts, and of course the perfect brew.
Aye. And nothing kicks off a fine spring morning like a mug of Warlock's wake-up call. Smooth, mellow, and uplifting, just like a good tune to start the day.
Or perhaps you seek something bolder, something with depth. The Dragon's Fire chocolate carries whispers of dark chocolate and spice, mystical, rich, and full of hidden power.
Powerful, aye, but what if you want something with a bit more charm? The Charisma caramel, sweet, smooth, and just the right amount of magic to keep you coming back for more.
No matter your path this spring, Dungeon Brew Coffee has a brew to fuel your journey. Visit dungeonbrewcoffee.com and let the adventure begin.
I love springtime!
So, the pantry is magical, infinite, and has rules. That tracks.
Yeah? Well, I have one rule: no pantry that throws me out gets to be called friendly.
This is amazing. We have the blend of the gods and these golden beans too. People will just have to come to get their coffee here.
The group takes a moment, looking between each other and the now closed pantry door. Finally, Java carefully picks up the golden coffee beans and cradles them in his paws. They settle around the hearth, discussing the possibilities of their newfound pantry, and the many ways it might still surprise them, still processing the implications of their magical discovery. Java reverently sets the golden coffee beans in a place of honor on the tavern's main coffee bar next to the small chest containing the blend of the gods, while Nyved inspects his single surviving spice bottle with exaggerated reverence.
One tiny bottle, the sole survivor of the pantry's wrath. We shall cherish you forever, little one.
Are you giving it a eulogy?
Just showing the proper respect. Besides, this is eldritch chili powder. We don't even know what it does yet.
Then perhaps shaking it isn't the wisest course of action.
But think of the possibilities. This pantry, our pantry, isn't just a storage space. It's a direct link to some of the rarest ingredients in the world.
Assuming it doesn't throw us out first.
Yeah. We get it. Braticus isn't worthy of the sacred snack hoard.
Humor aside, the spirits entrusted this to us. That means responsibility. If we abuse it, we may lose it, or worse, bring something into the tavern that we can't control.
Sounds like the perfect excuse to test it.
Alright, what's the plan?
To submit requests, of course. Let's see if it helps us find what we're looking for or if it expects us to wander endlessly until we happen upon it.
The group exchanges looks. A shared, slightly mischievous energy fills the air. They gather around the pantry, having decided to make their first real request. Java places a paw on the doorknob and grins over at Nyved, who perks up and grins back at Java's suggestion.
We should start small. Something simple. Something experimental.
A new berry!
Fate nods approvingly, while Patches sighs and mutters something under her breath with a bright smile in her eyes. Java carefully turns the magical doorknob, and the pantry doorway shimmers once it's open. Inside, a single ornate box sits on a pedestal, glowing softly.
It worked!
He carefully steps inside and retrieves the box. As soon as he lifts it, the pantry hums again, its magic watching, waiting. Java steps back into the tavern, and the door gently closes behind him. Java places the box on the table. With a deep breath, he and Nyved lift the lid. A faint golden mist rises, carrying the scent of something both rich and otherworldly. Inside, nestled in soft fabric, are shimmering coffee berries infused with flecks of what looks like stardust. Braticus leaned forward.
Well, what's in the box?
This. I've never seen them before. I've only ever heard about them in stories.
What are they?
They are coffee berries. The beans are used by the messengers of the gods. They're used to make a very special brew.
Braticus reaches forward and grabs a handful of berries, popping several into his mouth. The others gasp. Java looks personally offended.
Braticus!
What? They're berries, right? I wanted two.
Suddenly, his entire body vibrates. A faint golden aura surrounds him as his hair stands on end. His pupils dilate, and he slowly rises onto his toes as if an unseen force is lifting him.
Oh, is this safe?
I can see everything.
Oh, that can't be good.
Braticus suddenly zooms across the tavern at blinding speed. Cups rattle, furniture shudders, and he bounces off the walls like an over-caffeinated pinball.
What is happening to me?
Java frantically grabs the remaining coffee berries and slams the box shut. Patches and Nyved scramble to intercept Braticus, who is now running upside down on the ceiling. Fate, meanwhile, calmly picks up a teacup and watches, sipping occasionally.
Okay, new rule. No eating the coffee berries raw.
Fascinating. A direct infusion of divine energy. This could be useful.
Can we have the revelations after we get him down?
Java and Nyved grab a large burlap sack, coordinating an interception maneuver. Braticus makes one final super speed lap around the tavern before launching toward the counter, where Java and Nyved catch him in the sack. He thrashes for a moment before the golden glow slowly fades. A long silence settles as the group collectively catches their breath. The tavern is a disaster. Cups knocked over, chairs turned upside down, and Braticus, groaning, lying half out of the sack like a defeated burrito.
That was a lot.
So, infinite pantry, magic coffee, and a new rule. No raw messenger blend coffee berries.
Never, ever, ever.
I kind of want another one.
Do you realize what you just did?
Transcended?
That was awesome.
Nyved holds up a single berry that Java missed when he put the others in the box. Java smacks the bean out of Nyved's claws before he can eat it and quickly puts it away.
Did we learn nothing from this?
That depends. Are we for or against unlocking our latent divine potential?
Maybe we should focus on controlling what we've got before we start experimenting again.
Agreed. We must understand this pantry and its magic before we risk further incidents.
Okay. So no raw messenger berries. Got it. But what about the pantry? We've proven it works, but do we really know the rules yet?
Good point. We asked for a new drink, and it gave us the means to make one. But what else can it provide? Does it only work for drinks?
Spices, exotic, ancient, forbidden.
That's just your grocery list.
And I see nothing wrong with that.
All right. Let's try something practical. Something we don't actually need to do anything to.
Java sighs but steps toward the pantry door again. Everyone gathers around, placing a paw on the doorknob. He thinks for a moment, then turns the knob. The doorway shimmers as the door swings open. Inside the pantry, sitting atop a polished stone pedestal, is a single, perfectly wrapped pastry. A golden croissant, steaming lightly, as if fresh from the oven.
A croissant?
The croissant of the sprites?
It's just a croissant, right?
Or is it?
Please let it give powers.
Java slowly lifts the pastry as everyone watches, and the moment it leaves the pedestal, a faint hum fills the air. Everyone tenses. He slowly and dramatically breaks the croissant in half, and a faint golden glow spills out, like morning sunlight. The scent of fresh butter and honey fills the tavern. Java carefully takes a bite, and his ears perk straight up. He freezes. Then, slowly, his tail starts wagging.
Oh. My. Beans. This is the best thing, other than coffee, I have ever tasted in my life.
Only one way to confirm.
Nyved snatches the other half and shoves the croissant into his mouth, and his eyes immediately widen. He staggers back, clutching his chest like he's just been struck by divine inspiration.
By the fire of the dragons. This is a flavor that sings. This is perfection.
All right. Let's do this properly now. We should have a look around the pantry and just get to know it. We'll have it for the rest of our lives, I expect.
He steps forward again, gripping the doorknob, and twists it with a satisfying click. The door swings open, releasing a gentle surge of glowing light from the pantry, flooding the room with warmth. The familiar hum of magic fills the air, and the group steps inside, their eyes widening at the sight. The pantry stretches endlessly before them, shelves laden with strange, glowing jars, exotic spices, and magical fruits. Everything seems just a little more enchanting than the last time they were here.
Here we go again.
Look at these. This place, it's like a dream come true for my recipes.
Everything we could ever need and more.
Let's just be cautious. This place hides more than just ingredients.
Though, you've got to take a little risk to find the good stuff. Look at this, spice of the Forgotten Kingdoms. This could be the secret ingredient for the tavern's hot signature stew. Sometimes you've just got to trust the pantry.
Braticus continues his impromptu shopping spree, and the others slowly follow, keeping a close eye on their surroundings. The air hums with the pantry's magic, and despite the excitement, there's a palpable sense that they're only just beginning to understand what this place really holds. The team wanders the endless aisles, occasionally looking at an item before returning it to its place on the shelves. As they investigated and became familiar with their newest treasure, they began to accept the fact that they didn't need to take everything of interest with them. The pantry was now theirs and would safely hold everything for them. Their job would be to protect the secret of the pantry. After what seemed like hours, they made their way out of the magical room and settled themselves in the tavern. Java and Nyved happily made plans for their new ingredients as Braticus, Patches, and Fate Scold relaxed by the hearth.
Now this has been a day to remember. I'll have to add it to my collection of stories. With proper embellishments to protect the pantry's secrets, of course.
The fire is low, the mugs are empty, and tonight's tale has come to an end. But the journey is far from over. Thank you for gathering with us at Dungeon Brew Coffee Tavern, where adventure brews with every sip. Join us next time as new challenges arise, mysteries deepen, and the magic of the tavern unfolds. If you enjoyed this taste of adventure, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new episode. We'll save a seat for you at the tavern. See you soon.